Welcome back to Frostpunk, the last autumn. We are currently just finished with the tower pumps. So the next stage of the generator, we are about 2 days ahead of schedule, is creating the support frame and the core itself. Now we need to create 2 support frames. So let's start with one of them and put some workers in there. Also we need to engage these and we'll go into full shift. News from London, Site 120. Great work on laying down the generator's foundations. You're making good time. Down here, bad weather and crop failures prompted an exodus to the colonies. Those who stay place their hopes in the government's newly unveiled evacuation plan. Our company was accused of profiteering by opposition politicians. Pure slander, of course. Unfortunately, we lost contact with Site 120. We are attaching its coordinates and would appreciate if you could spare a few men to check up on them. We'll do our best. And here we have Off with the Gloves. Sir, a group of senior overseers is here to talk to you about dealing with worker protests. Lives depend on us finishing the generator on time. Yet the workers keep striking. Why are you putting up with this? We have the guns, just give us an order and we'll put a swift end to all this tomfoolery. No, I'll think about it. This one is on strike. Let's give them double rations. Now, we also need to recreate this unit of foragers and send it to the workers' camp. Can I? Not yet. And we need more structural profiles, which also means that we need to start importing wood. A taste of home. Sir, although many people back home are facing starvation, a well-off relative of one of our engineers sent him a large parcel with treats. Should we hold on to the food? It may stir trouble or, God forbid, fuel a parallel economy. No, confiscate that food parcel. And we need workers to start cooking food again. We also need workers in that one. So let's take 10 workers from here and put them in this sawmill. Supercharge have been researched. We could go with advanced supercharge, but currently we are lacking in wood, so I won't do a research currently, which means that we can take engineers out of the research facilities and replace the workers in here with engineers. Are there any other buildings? Yes, this one we can replace with engineers, and we can put 10 workers into this sawmill as well. I don't think there are any other buildings where we can put engineers. We do, however, have enough metal in these piles. Let's move these workers up to this dock and start importing the wood. And while we could use the workers from Site 120, I am not going to bring them to our city because I do not want arsonists and God knows what starting lots of problems here. They did not enjoy working with the engineers over there, and I am pretty sure that they will not at all enjoy working with the engineers in our settlement. So let's order another steam core. Still about 2 days ahead of schedule. And we're getting enough coal as well, so let's remove 10 workers from one of these. And we have 2 steam cores. But we don't have any piles of wood yet, it would seem. Let's just wait until we get that. We can pass a new law. But currently I don't think we are going to pass any laws. Could build a house of pleasure, but I don't want that either. Bare knuckle bouts. No. And in labor we have the dispensary, but I don't want that, and I do not want neither strike busting nor class segregation, so I think we're done with the laws as well. Foragers have reached the workers' camp. Dozens of workers eye us suspiciously as we approach. They are a pitiful sight, starving and dressed in rags which don't cover their injuries. The workers tell us about Site 120, where they toiled in inhuman conditions under their slave-driving boss until they had had enough and ran away one night. They beg us not to betray them if we visit their site. They are starved and about half of them are sick. They won't survive alone in the wilderness. Tell them to stay, or actually just leave them. Let's go to the Bald Hill. Now, the irony would be if they decided to move on their own and started coming over to our settlement and attack it instead. And I would definitely not put it beyond the developers of this game to do exactly that. Motivation is dropping. We can do an evening service today, that's good. This one we can get back at 8 to... This one as well. There we go. Let's build a steam reloading station. Wait, hold on. Steam reloading station. This one is closed. 231. 24 versus 8. It's not comparable. Crap. Oh well. Let's build a steam reloading station then. This is still safe. It's good. And we actually need wood so badly right now that I'm gonna tear this one down for now. Until we get more steam cores and then build another wood gathering site on those docks instead. There we go. Now let's build... Oh, we don't have enough steam cores. Reloading station there. 10 workers in that one. I won't address this right now. Strike risk will increase, but doesn't really seem to affect anything. Interesting how this thing... I was curious about that. How would that look? Foragers have reached the Bald Hill. The hill isn't very tall, but offers a wide view over the plain. We can see a string of dark spots not very far from here. Site 120. This must be the generator construction site the runaway workers told us about. I'm not sure why they got it there, but... looks cool though. That one makes more sense. This one is a bit weird. Okay, so they are almost done. So is this one. Motivation is atrociously bad. And I don't dare use the that motivation thing just now because we already have strike. Oh, they're done with it. We already have an increased risk of strike. We need 4, and then we need 5, and then we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The other thing we need with the generator is the core, and that requires steel composites, so I need a steam core to build that, I think. Generator, yep. That isn't ideal. Oh, hello. That's good timing. Machine shop. Thank you very much. About 3 days ahead of schedule. Foragers have reached Site 120. This place eerily resembles our own camp, but destroyed by fire and riots. It seems that their generator was very nearly completed before it blew up. Tragic end. Site 120 has been destroyed by a violent rebellion. Unburied bodies lie everywhere. We found no survivors. Peeking into the generator pit, we saw even more bodies scattered at the bottom. Judging from their clothes, most of the victims were engineers. All the buildings are in ruin, gutted by fire or wrecked on purpose. We'll gather whatever supplies we can find and leave this terrible place. So we get 10 structural profiles from here. And we have the snowy hills. I'm gonna send them back out there because not having to make 10 of these actually is quite beneficial. Our last hope. Thank you for investigating Site 120. We were sorry to hear of their fate. It is most unfortunate that you did not find any survivors. We probably will never know what happened, although we strongly suspect some sort of syndicalist conspiracy. According to reports from all over the globe, the cooling shows no sign of slowing down. With the other generator project scrapped, your site is now Liverpool's last hope if the evacuation becomes necessary. You can count on us. Yeah, I need workers in... Wait, I built the wrong thing. Darn it. I want a foundry, the machine workshop. Motivation is dropping. Let's increase motivation. Overseer sacked. Sir, workers seized an overseer who was admonishing them for smoking on the job, put him in a sack and carted him out of the premises in a wheelbarrow. Overseers demand consequences. This is an intolerable slight to my authority, or our authority, seethes the engineer. I can't carry out my duties if I'm not sure of your support, sir. And good riddance, a worker shouts. We don't need slave drivers. Let it slide. The engineers are not happy with that, but... Here we go. We need 25 steel composites. We have 5, so we need to make 15 of them. There is a slight low risk of strike. Should also put workers in here, of course. 1.5 per hour. Well, that is miserable. Then again, I only have 5 workers, so that's why, of course. These guys are done, so then let's do this and that. 15.4 per hour, that is far better. The temperature will soon drop. 4 days ahead of schedule. This one is done. Let's dismantle it. And we can set up the other support frame. And I guess we can put the workers in as well. Thankfully these guys are soon back with those, so that we can, because the toxic gases will rise tomorrow, so we're going to have to enact the protective structure then. Here they are. Let's send them back out again. 1 day, 9 hours, 15 hours. 11 hours, just send them there. Good fishing spot has been depleted, so let's send these on to the herd of reindeer. Guess we can start putting engineers back into the research facilities, and we don't need the advanced reloading station. We might need the charcoal kiln. Advanced supercharge, however, that could be useful, so let's get that. Okay, so these workers are done. Transport has arrived with 1 steam core. Let's order another one. Let's take them out of the building. Put 5 of them in there. I have about 2 days of coal. Let's build another reloading station here. These guys are at their location. Let's send them on to the snowy hills. Numerous footprints lead from Site 120 towards the snow-covered hills. Some survivors, or maybe perpetrators, must have fled there. Four days ahead of schedule. Moderate risk of strike. Unhealthy. Let's set in the protective structure so that it's safe, which reduces the strike risk to none. Apparently, this one is inoperative because we have no workers in the dock. Foragers have reached the herd of reindeer. Climbing the wall of snow, piled high by the avalanche, we found a herd of reindeer cut off in a small valley. Easy prey. The reindeer have no way to escape. We could stop here for a few days to hunt them and dig up those buried by the avalanche. We'll do that. 80 food for 9 days. Motivation is now below. Okay, we just have to do an overseer's inspection then. The slap. Sir, an overseer got in an argument with a worker during which the worker slapped him. The overseer demands exemplary punishment. It's not about my injury, which is mostly to my pride, says the engineer. This is about our authority as overseers. Without it, we cannot serve the company. The worker is unrepentant. Treat others with respect, or you'll get your ugly mug smashed. Issue a stern warning. Motivation certainly was less bothersome with the executions, but I think I'm happy that we don't have the executions. Put 5 workers in there. Waiting for this. Down with the war! Sir, a worker's mother writes him that his brother was shot dead during a demonstration against conscription, a highly controversial new measure introduced in the second year of the Balkan War. Young people have been protesting it from the start, but this is the first time the mechanized lancers were sent against them. Let the man grieve. Advanced supercharge has been researched. Let's get the charcoal kiln then. Foragers have reached the snowy hills. We followed the fugitives into the foothills but lost the trail here. The freshly fallen snow has covered all footprints. Abandoned burden. Searching the area, we found some resources scattered about. The fugitives must have left all inessential supplies behind to lighten their load before entering the hills. There is no telling what happened to them, but considering the remoteness of this land and the harsh climate, they are likely to die of starvation and exposure before finding help. 230 wood and 150 metal. And that's the final site. That means we have discovered everything and we can disband that unit of foragers when they return. Can put these engineers in here. And they are done with that part as well. Now let's build the core. Oh, we need 25 steel composites. Charcoal kilns have been researched. Let's get the thermostat. Still 4 days ahead of schedule. Transport has arrived with 1 steam core. Let's get another one. I think that we can upgrade this one into a steam reloading station. Motivation falls drastically. Let's do an evening service. There is a moderate strike risk. First snow. On this morning, the camp wakes up to the sight of dancing white flakes. The first snow came much sooner than anyone expected, and although it melts soon, the mood remains depressed. People shuffle through the mist, the falling snow muffling their voices and turning them pale like ghosts. Someone curses under their breath. This is the last thing we needed. Working in such cold is going to be a drag. This nasty surprise heralds an unnaturally early winter, but nobody feels like talking about that. Motivation will fall even more each morning. We must endure. The daily loss is now alarming. Foragers have returned. Can put them at work here. I'm not sure how to combat the motivation issues now. I don't think there is any buildings we can build that actually... Oh, whoa, that's something we need to do. Due to low motivation, efficiency falls by 30%. Sir, people lack motivation to do their jobs properly. The efficiency in all workplaces suffers as a result. We have to do something about it. We could probably go to the hearty meal. But other than that, the only sources we have of motivation are this. Which I must admit that is not ideal at all. Let's build another large resource depot. Can remove this road. Can also remove this little road. Do we have workers in all of these? 105. Okay, we definitely need to upgrade these to steam. Foundry is on strike. Let's appease them with double rations. And they're done, so we can then go on and build the core. Use 5 steam exchangers to instantly increase that 20%. Let's do that. Extended shift, no. We will not address that. Fire danger. Oh, crap. We need 5 steel composites. A small fire broke out in the unfinished core. We managed to put it out before it spread, but this is bound to happen again if we do not improve the work safety. Additionally, we can build fire dampers inside the structure to limit the scale of any potential fires and the damage from them. Remind me later, and just take everyone out again, and we need to make 5 more of these. The rest back in. And we can research the charcoal kiln bellows. I think we can take these engineers out so they can start building instead. Same with this place. We can actually tear that down. I don't need it anymore. And we can also remove this little tidbit of a road here. Take these engineers as well so that we get this building built. But we're not in time. Let's get these out. And dismantle. Okay, so they are done. Change of plans. Sir, a telegram from London. We're going to be cut off. The frost is coming sooner than expected. Royal Meteorological Society warns that the sea will freeze in 12 days, stopping all navigation and fishing. We will cease all shipments in 10 days. Start stockpiling materials and food. The evacuation by an icebreaker is planned in 18 days. It is imperative that you complete the generator by then. Good luck. Ugh. Out you go. Go in there. about to go on strike. Well, that's because of the work safety, so as soon as they start working, it should be fine. Preparing for the cold. Sir, the coming cold threw everyone off guard. If the forecasts are true, it will make finishing construction that much more difficult. Crew working on technology started thinking about ways we could at least somewhat mitigate the coming cold. If you want to, some ideas could be developed into solutions per your request. Show me. Does any of these increase motivation, I wonder? Nope. Nope. We will have a struggle with motivation here. Transport has arrived with 1 steam core. Let's order 2 steam cores. And then with 1 steam core we can build another reloading station here. Wait, let's cancel that. That one is down, so let's build a steam reloading station there. We need engineers back in there. We can also put engineers back into these. Put those on overtime. Strike risk fell, but the toxic gases are not helping things here. Should drop at 7 o'clock though. Maybe it's at 8 o'clock. I don't want this to be left unharmful, so if it doesn't drop, I'm going to take the workers out because we are 4 days ahead of schedule. Didn't drop, so I'll take the workers out. Charcoal kiln bellows have been researched. Let's put some of them in here and make 12 more of these. And then we can put some in here and make 20 of these. And with a new day dawning, I think it is time to end the episode. So let's quickly set a technology here. Braziers, I think, so I don't forget in the beginning of the next episode. But with that, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you all in the next episode.